Hey guys, and welcome back to the Totally Random Talk Show. And well, let's hop right in, shall we?
Yeah.
Away, Max.
Okay. Our first topic is pretty exciting. We're doing I topics today. The letter I, not the body part. But the first topic is on islands. So, this is an interesting one. See, my favorite part of an island is getting to visit them, because there's lots of great islands. You can go to the island of Hawaii, the island of Australia, lots of different islands all around the world. It's kind of crazy to think about how many there are.
Technically, we live on an island. Think about
Yeah, you're correct. But yeah, when we think of islands, I think that's our way of classifying like smaller, off of the main continents. Except for Australia is a continent and an island and a country, and it's like, what is going on?
What do we even call this?
The land down under.
Multi-land.
The land of kangaroos? Something.
The land of Kanga.
Kanga? See, what's interesting too is you wouldn't really think that that's an island. Well, like, because it is an island, but it's also like much bigger.
Right.
It's like then everything else technically is an island, like you said, since we have oceans surrounding all of our land. There's no non-islands.
Yeah, it's weird. Oh wait, I got one. I got one for Australia. Wallaby territory. How's that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Or like, well, I mean, there are platypi too. Platypuses. Wait.
Platypuses.
It very confusing. But wait, platypuses? Does that even work?
I think that's like the normal term for it.
The question every historian and philosopher has asked for centuries: is it platypuses or platypi? Well, let's see. Platypuses is correct, and not platypi. Wow, that's surprising. And kind of sad.
Very sad.
Because, like, look at all of these other animals. Like, I don't know. They just, like, oh, actually, wait. With octopus, I think octopuses works too, but octopi sounds better.
It does. Which is why I think platypi would work too, but I mean, hey.
Yeah.
You know.
English is weird, and so are platypuses.
Really weird. Why can't we all just talk in Spanish? God.
Yeah. What even is... Here, hold up. Platypus in Spanish. What is platypus in Spanish? I don't know. We'll never find out.
Something like that.
It is...
Just in an accent.
That is a handful, or a mouthful.
Ornitorrinco.
Did you hear that?
Ornitorrinco?
Ornitorrinco.
I thought you said formitorrinco.
Actually, it was the Google Translate robot that said it, but Ornitorrinco. With the double R, I can't roll my R's. So yeah, but
Ornitorrinco. He's about and he's blue. And you know.
Also, anybody who speaks Spanish, please correct us if we're wrong.
Yes, please. If you're cultured in Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
We don't know what we're saying.
Yeah, we don't know much at all.
I'm in like Spanish 3, which is very far. That means I've taken 4 years of Spanish.
Wow, congratulations.
Too long.
Wait, okay, bringing it back to the topic of islands. Are there any islands of mostly Spanish-speaking people? Because I bet there are. If there are islands all over the world, there has to be so many different languages. Here, islands that speak Spanish. because now that's the topic of the day. Let's see.
All of the Lesser Antilles, all of them,
Mm-hmm.
all of those are mostly Spanish. Some of them aren't.
Yeah.
I think one of them is like French, like maybe it's Haiti.
See, why did I not think of this? The Caribbean, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto
That's
Rico.
what I meant by Lesser Antilles, but it's more of like way down there, like
Yeah.
Dominica and Barbados and St. Lucia and stuff.
There are some islands too, nearby Honduras and Nicaragua, that are Spanish speaking. Well, I mean, they're part of those countries, so it would make sense. But let's see, and then also Spain is a peninsula. So that's kind of interesting to think about. Yeah, I don't know. Spanish is very interesting because if we didn't have English, most of the world would be Spanish speaking, and it already is. There's lots of different cultures. Very wonderful.
Oh, yes, it is amazing. Because I would be really sad if the only language that I knew, like, existed was English.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be really boring.
Yeah, because also Spanish is a lot easier for English speakers to learn as their second language.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever noticed like sometimes when you're trying to think of a word, it's harder because you sometimes think, like, for Spanish words, even if you don't know too many Spanish words. Like, I've had that happen to me before, where I learned a new word in Spanish, and then I need to use a word similar or the same word in English, and I can't think of it because it's in my head in Spanish, even though I don't know it very well.
Right.
So, like, confuses you. Even if you've only spoken Spanish for, I don't know, like a year or two, maybe even less, it can, like, mess with your brain because English is our first language. But I bet for somebody who speaks Spanish as a first language, oh, probably a piece of cake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I get, any primary language. So, yeah.
Well, should we move on to our next topic, maybe?
Yes. I'm excited about this one. How about you start us off?
2 words, people. Ice cream.
Ice cream. Yeah. Could you hear that? I was whispering, so you might not have been able to hear me.
Ice cream. Love ice cream. Do you know how controversial and amazing ice cream is? Without ice cream, the world would not be what it is today. No, sir.
That is true.
It would not be what it is without it. You can't have a fully functioning society without it. You can't.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
You can't tie your shoes without it. You can't do anything by yourself without ice cream.
Everyone would be tripping over themselves without it.
Oh, yeah.
Ice
cream gets you through heartbreak.
Ooh.
Ice cream gets you through happy times.
Celebration. You can put ice cream with sweet, such as brownies or cookies. You can put it with savory, such as pizza. That's a bit of a stretch. Or bacon. Yeah. Or even French fries. See, there we go. That's good ice cream territory. French fries with ice cream is more revolutionary than the computer, than the wheel.
I agree.
Than every invention known in human history. The French fry dipped in ice cream beats them all.
Oh, it's so good. Man, every time I go to a Wendy's, I'm like, I have to get a Frosty. I have to get a Frosty, because what is fries without a Frosty? I mean,
what is Frosty without a fries? Wait.
Exactly.
Fries with... Wait, yeah. No, you said fries without a Frosty. I said Frosty without a fries. I think we completed the loop, right?
Whoa. Infinite loop here, guys.
See, we gotta be careful. This is where we could get to paradoxes with your ice cream. That's something you don't want to happen. Because you don't want to not eat your ice cream and eat it at the same time, because that's confusing. What? Okay.
The world. No, that doesn't work. Hang on. I was gonna do like one of those cool things where like there's like that deep voiced guy. He's like
Yeah.
talking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he's, like,
In a movie trailer.
Yeah, like in the movie trailers. You know, he's like, in a world where paradoxes are everywhere, there's one thing to blame. Ice cream.
And French fries.
And French fries! I can't get that low at the moment.
You sound like a sports announcer right there, right? Like, oh, and he passes the ball for the touchdown! And he passes the ball for the touchdown! You see, we're probably...
Are you ready to rumble?
We're probably hurting everybody's ears. But...
Oh, yeah.
But that's what I imagine it would be like in a sports documentary about ice cream. And how the players on the team had so much ice cream that they didn't... It wasn't unhealthy anymore. It just became healthy from the absurd amount of ice cream they ate. That'd be an interesting movie. You see?
Wow.
It'd be interesting.
I would watch that.
Probably wouldn't be good, but it'd be interesting.
What would they call it?
I
wonder.
Let's see. We could do. What would be a good name? Remember the Ice Cream? No, I'm just kidding. A mix between Remember the Titans and Ice Cream. Ice Cream at Midnight. If you wanted to choose a certain type of ice cream, could you? What's a ice cream that starts with the letter M? Because that's hard to think about. See, there's probably not many.
Is that a flavor?
Moose Tracks. How did I not think of that? That's like one of the best flavors of ice cream.
Mud Tracks. What?
Yeah, Moose Tracks.
I was thinking Mud Tracks.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
you want to come over here and eat some of this Mud Tracks ice cream? It's pretty great. It's better than Moose Tracks. I'll tell you that.
Are you?
Oh gosh, you know what that reminds me of? This is like way off topic, but it sounds like that one guy from Ghostbusters.
Okay, buddy. I'm sure some people are like, who? And that's probably me. I'm like,
go watch Ghostbusters. There's this one guy in it. You know, he's always wearing like a classic '80s tracksuit, and he talks almost like that. He's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Listen, I'm getting some friends over tomorrow night, and I was wondering if you'd like to come over." Hey, oh, he has the best voice crack ever too.
Yeah. All right, ladies, let's stretch those quads.
Oh yeah, I got Twister over there if you want to play it. Oh, hi Lois, welcome back. Yeah, oh my gosh, I could go on forever.
That'd be a while.
Anyways.
Forever's a long time.
Back to ice cream.
Back to the football team, American football, that ate so much ice cream, it became healthy. It'd be called Moose Tracks at Midnight. Sitcom drama, sports documentary. It would make millions, but
it would
get terrible ratings.
I'm going to invest in that movie.
But just imagine seeing a commercial for that on TV. You'd want to see it, even if it was terrible. It's like
Tracks at Midnight.
See, but wait.
That's so scary.
That reminds me of something, and it's on the tip of my tongue. Okay, Threat Level Midnight. There we go. You see what I mean? Pretty similar. See, it's a combination of many different things, including ice cream, which makes it that good. But we should probably move on, because it's been a while talking about ice cream.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Shall I get started on our next topic?
That's a great idea.
Okay, our next topic is on the whole country of India. Now, it's a big place. They have, 1 billion people living there? That's a lot of people.
I think it's like, isn't it the biggest like country in the world, like the most populated country in the world?
Let's see. I don't know, because it could be the biggest, but there's also China.
That's
okay,
true.
So let's see. China is the biggest with 1,394,000,000, and India is the second biggest with 1,325,000,000. So that means they're off by about 70 million, almost exactly 70 million. And the United States is actually third in population with 329 million. So it goes down from 1.3 billion to 300 million.
It drops by 1 billion people.
Yeah.
That's a whole...
And the United States has a lot of people. But that's interesting to think about, too. Because, here we go. The other countries that are on the top 10 for world population are Indonesia with 270 million, Pakistan with 230 million, Nigeria with 213 million, Brazil with 212 million, Bangladesh with 162 million, Russia with 142 million, and Mexico with 128 million. So, a lot of people live on the North American continent and the South American continent. So, the Americas. There's a lot of people living in the Americas. I guess that makes sense because it's practically half of the world. But it's interesting to think about because the U.S. is such a big place. Like, there's so many different... it's like each state is its own country of sorts. Because, like, Europe is... Oh, yeah, you can finish. Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, you're totally right, because every state is different. I mean, if you come from, like, Missouri and you go to California, you'll be like, where am I?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And...
like, all the customs are just different.
And if you think about it, too, like, if you compare the United States to Europe as a whole, you look at all those different countries. France, Romania, Germany, France. Or wait, I already said France. Spain, Portugal, Switzerland, Italy. All of those countries are like about the size of one or two states. And, you know, like America is like the Europe of our side of the world. Or side?
I'll tell you one thing, though.
Sphere.
San Marino, not the size of a state. It's smaller than Rhode Island.
That's true. Like, there's big and small. And, like, the UK is about the same size as California. They're a little different, but similar. In, like, length, I guess you could say. It's kind of interesting to see. But, like, going back to India, India is not even that big, really. Like, it's a big country, but it's been bigger in population than in size because they have so many people packed in there. And you see some towns in India will have not that many people, and there's other towns that'll have a ton of people. Like, seriously, it's an insane amount of people. And still, they have a really interesting culture. Really, well, like, you know, a lot focused on, like, what's the word? I can't remember the word. You talk for a minute. I'll think of the word.
Okay. Well, one thing I do want to mention is back in the day, and by back in the day, I mean, like, go back, like, I don't know, 1,500 years. India was popular trade route for one reason.
Yeah.
Spices. Everyone wanted spices because their food sucked. They were like, I want some salt and pepper on my steak, man.
Yeah.
I want it. And so they're like, let's go to India because they got all the spices. I don't know why they had all the spices. I'd have to go into it and research it. But yeah, they had all the spices. All of it.
Yeah. I think...
And I mean, granted, some other places had some, but not very much.
Yeah.
So yeah, India was just the place to go, I guess.
I think the reason was because they had things like monks and everything with their different religions, Buddhism, Hindu? No, yeah, I think.
Hinduism.
I'm sorry if I get anything wrong. But, so like with all their different religions and the monks, those monks are very hardworking and also very, very religious, you know. It's like, they're kind of like nuns in a way, where they really just like help people out, and that's all they really do. They're not even about themselves. Or they're also about the minimalistic life. And so I feel like that would add to the amount of spices and silks and different trading, I guess, entities that they had. Because, you know, like there'd be a lot of people who wouldn't even have any of that stuff because they would, like, choose to follow their religion over having expensive houses and spices and everything. But it is interesting too because like if you look at their food in India, lots of the food has tons of spices. Like seriously, I was watching is it Diners, Drive-Ins and Dives with Guy Fieri, and he went to an Indian restaurant and the guy piled in about 30 spices, and it just added to the flavor of the food because they choose the right spices and it makes the food amazing. It's wonderful.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
Oh man, now you got my mouth watering. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hungry now.
Well, and also really quickly, the word that I forgot, it was on the tip of my tongue, was polytheism, which is like a belief in many gods, which is a lot of the religions from there because that was the old world. At that time, they didn't really have Christianity or anything like that. Well, I mean, of course they didn't, because there was a certain point where they were before that all happened. Because, yeah, like BC times. So they definitely didn't have the same type of religion that we have around the world too. But now religion is such a big thing. There's so many different types of religions that it's kind of interesting to see. And it's interesting to learn about too. Like in school, we spent a while in World Civilizations talking about how they have lots of different religions in the Middle East and India.
Yeah. I actually thought that class was way fun.
Yeah. I like history. History is interesting because it's crazy to look at what's happening now, compare it to past times. And I actually was talking to you about this earlier. I was saying, like now, in 2020, it was basically a repeat of different circumstances of the Spanish flu pandemic. I think epidemic. I don't know. But like if you think about it, they're in the same year, 100 years apart. And what's weird is it was a disease. Similar things happened during those diseases to stop it from spreading. Of course, a lot of different amounts of people have died between those diseases. But it's interesting to look how they're similar because it's also almost in the same time, 100 years apart, which is kind of crazy.
That's weird.
Yeah, history's great.
I love history, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
If you get a chance, really quickly, just go read up on the Harlem Renaissance. Go listen to some of the music from that time period, because there's some great music from there.
There is.
Seriously,
Renaissance was like the coolest period ever.
Yeah, and different types of renaissances. You know, like now we're having like a technological renaissance of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we have crazy fancy stuff like VR and computers. Like literally, I don't know. It's crazy the stuff that we have compared to even 100 years ago.
10 years, it would say, "What is an iPhone?"
Oh yeah.
Probably not.
Well,
But
Like,
go back 15 years.
yeah,
15 years. They will say, what is an iPhone? What is
yeah.
VR?
Well,
What is
actually,
this
they
thing
did
that
have
you
VR
call-
for a while, but it was like
Oh, that's true.
really terrible. Like, there's a Nintendo console called the Virtual Boy, and it's basically VR, but it's all red looking and weird, and like, you know, it's all pixelated anyways. So yeah.
That's scary.
But now we have like ultra realistic, like you can walk off a plank, stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool.
And if you think about it, a lot of that has actually come from India too, because nowadays they have a lot of like engineers and tech support people, things like that. Like if you get on tech support, at least once you're going to have somebody from India who probably has a thick accent, which is actually pretty awesome. But it kind of makes it hard to understand because I think about it, like different accents sound different, and if you're not really too used to hearing them, that's kind of hard to understand. But it's interesting because a lot of people in India are geniuses. Like seriously, they're so smart. There's so many amazing people all around the world too. It's crazy.
So cool.
Do you have anything else to add?
Not really, no. So,
Yeah. Kind of
it's
went
okay with you.
a little like, that was like a speech. I don't even know what just happened.
Yeah. It was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So, anyway, shall we move on to our next topic?
Yeah, sure.
Alrighty. Our next topic for you guys is on another country. Starts with an I. Yeah. Our next topic is Ireland.
Ooh. Yeah.
I love Ireland. Sounds
See,
cool.
they also have rich history. Pretty crazy. Because, like,
I actually had to do a report on the Irish War. The Irish Potato War is what they nickname it.
Yo, that's crazy.
Ireland, like, went through a crazy, like, famine thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where they, like, completely ran out of food, money,
everything.
Yeah. It was like the Great Depression, but for
terrible.
Yeah. And so then they realized that they could start, like, farming a bunch of potatoes, like, mass production of potatoes, and that's what they did. Potatoes.
Yeah. See, that's interesting because, like, if you look at the Great Depression in America, part of what happened was the Dust Bowl, which was from over farming, right? It's interesting to see how they got out of it was because they were farming more. But it's like in America, they're just like, we need money, and the prices for wheat went down, so let's just double the amount we're producing. Doesn't seem so smart, but hopefully we've learned from it.
Money doesn't solve your problems. It doesn't. Mm-mm.
Yeah. I mean, it solves some of them, but it isn't the only fix to your problems. And if you rely too much on money, like if you're only caring about money and nothing else, then you're going to get a lot done physically, but you're not really going to be happy. Like, you're just going to be lonely and it'll be terrible.
Oh, man.
But Ireland, they got leprechauns, potatoes all over the place nowadays because of the farming. They have, sadly, there were Irish slaves when they came to, maybe not in America, I don't know, probably, but like a lot of other places too. Because, like, why even was that? Like, they're not even any different than anybody else.
I don't know.
Like, why? They're just
History is
yeah.
People are people, and they'll continue to be people.
True.
Like, if you think about it, we're doing things right now that are really bad.
Yeah.
We just don't know it. We have no idea.
Slavery is still going on today, probably more so than when slaves were all over in America. I mean, we had a civil war to get rid of slavery, and it's still here. It's still all over the world. Because slaves aren't just going to be of one race of people. Slaves could be anybody, which is really sad.
I have one thing to say to anyone who is taking part in slavery. Just do the work yourself, you bum, and pay people.
Yeah. And also,
it's not hard.
Now, by this time, they should probably be in jail.
Yep.
Actually, no, not probably. You. Like 100%. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
another
it's
cool thing about Ireland is what's it? I don't even know what it's called, but you know, like that one area in Ireland with like the really cool rocks that are shaped like hexagons.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what it's called, but I know what you're talking about. There's hexagon-shaped rocks. And that might not be in Ireland. It might be another country, but I think it is Ireland.
I thought it was Ireland.
Let me just read up on it really quick. I'm gonna go to a science website and let's see. Hexagon-shaped rocks.
Hexagon-shaped
rocks? Many places worldwide. Okay, so it is Ireland. Here's what happened.
Oh, okay, we were right.
Ancient lavas from like lava pools or whatever cooled into hexagon blocks or columns, but nobody really knows why. So let me read up on it. Okay. So they found as the material at the surface cooled, it shrank more quickly than the lava underneath, which was still warm. And that shrinking led to a random pattern of cracks that typically went in 90-degree angles, or like they intersected at 90 degrees. And so then what ended up happening was the lava was cooling and then cracking. And so that's kind of crazy. It naturally made 100-degree angles from shifting and everything like that to make hexagons. That's so
cool.
Crazy thing.
Like,
and if you look at them,
about it,
they look crazy.
Hexagon shapes, not octagon, because octagons are like stop signs. But picture like hexagons, 6 sides.
Yeah.
All natural though. Completely natural. It's like thinking about Easter Island. How did those giant rocks get there? I don't know. I have no idea. Those things are heavy.
Yeah.
But somehow they're there.
I mean, we won't know for sure, ever, I think. But
yeah.
A lot of theories have been like that people move them kind of by walking them. They'd have 2 sides on a rope, like tug of war. And one side would pull it, and then the other side would pull it, and then it would move, kind of like walking of sorts. That's a theory, because people have tested that out, and it works pretty well. But I don't think we'll ever know for sure. Things like that, like I think it was called the Giant Causeway in Ireland, which was the hexagon shapes, the Easter Island heads, Stonehenge, the pyramids. Actually, yeah, the pyramids are crazy.
The pyramids are nuts.
Because,
imagine how long it took
fun
to
fact,
do that.
Cleopatra lived closer to the time of mammoths being on the earth than she did to the time when the Great Pyramids were built. I think. Wow. Wait. Let me check this fact for sure.
If that is true, though, that's way cool. That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it's true.
To show you how much history we actually have. Like, we should be glad we have this much history. Like, we're lucky.
Okay, here. Okay, maybe. I think I said it wrong, but. No, actually, okay. So the woolly mammoths were still on the earth while the pyramids were being built. Wow. So, let's see. So the last woolly mammoths died as late as 1650 BC. And so that means before that, they were alive. And so the pyramids were built from 2500 BC to 2490 BC. So it took them actually somewhere around 60 years, I think. But yeah. And that's pretty interesting. So let's see. I need Cleopatra was also born in 69 BC and died in 30 BC. That's not very long at all.
No.
But she is. It is true then, which is kind of crazy. Wow. There's so many weird facts too about the world. The world is crazy.
The world's nuts.
Yeah. Do you want to get started on our next topic?
Yeah. This is my favorite topic of the day, so... yeah.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Alright, next topic is on the one, the only, probably the best Swedish meatballs you will ever taste. IKEA.
IKEA.
See,
I love it.
What's interesting is we went for more of a world route this time. I know, right? Geography is great. History is great. But IKEA is even better. You can also get ice cream there, I'm pretty sure. I mean...
You can.
There has to...
Probably
see, you have to be able to get ice cream there. Because it would make it even better. And also, I forgot to mention earlier, if you're lactose intolerant and you can't have ice cream, then try sherbet, because that's just as good. And if you can't have either, then I feel sorry for you.
It's okay. They have stuff called rice milk.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And almond milk.
Almond milk.
There's probably other... Wait. Different types of milk. Let's find out.
They have milk.
That's pretty fancy.
The only reason why people are lactose intolerant, why people have allergies, and why people have so many problems in the world today is because people decide to grow their plants and stuff and breed their animals with, I just had brain fart, pesticides and herbicides and stuff.
Yep. And there's so many of them too. And what's wrong too is people, products will claim they're non-GMO, right? And when you think about it, that just means not genetically modified. But why would that matter? Because literally every product we have has to be genetically modified by this point, because farmers from hundreds of years ago, chose their best crop and kept producing that, and we can't change that. That's just them choosing the best crop and genetically modifying it, technically. So, yeah. I think it's weird when they claim that that's healthier, because it doesn't really make a difference, really. In fact, if it was genetically modified, you could probably get better products. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
But the reason we have corn today is because the Aztecs, or was it the Incas? I don't know. One of those ancient cultures genetically modified it by growing the better crop.
Yeah.
Of a weed. A weed.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
It is.
The potato was not a potato 5,000 years ago. It was probably some tiny, weird pebble thing that grew in the ground. And you couldn't eat it because it was poisonous.
That wouldn't be very fun.
Imagine, being a caveman and you're, being introduced to life and stuff, and you're trying new things, and you eat a mushroom. A bad mushroom.
That would be terrible. But also, imagine being the person with them who has to just remember that that plant kills you. They write it down or something? I don't know.
Yeah, remember it.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're system is just amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's raw meat every day.
Yeah.
So,
But
like,
also really quick, we haven't said much about IKEA, but you can finish your thought really quick.
oh, well, I finished mostly, so yeah, we can get
Okay.
back on IKEA, the best store in the world.
Yeah. So one thing I've noticed while going in IKEA is that they make you walk through the whole store, and it makes you buy more stuff because you see everything, and you're like, oh, I need that, even though I don't.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird, but it's very smart.
Yeah, because they set it all up to get the most, like, range, like, get the most area filled, so you walk around for, like, the longest time, and then, you can finish buying your stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a very smart idea, and I love IKEA for that idea. Like, I'm not mad giving them money because they're smart. They know what they're doing.
In fact, I've so many things from IKEA. Like, I don't know. I just don't think about it too much. Like, even if you take 3 trips to IKEA in like a year or 2 years, you'll come back with like all new silverware, all new plates, all new cups, a new desk that you just built by yourself, a new lamp that you just set up, a new car that you just built. No, just kidding. But like, seriously, they have so many things. And they also have amazing food. They have good candy and good food up at their cafe, I guess.
What I cannot get at IKEA is their hot dogs. I don't know why they just don't make them good. Like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, it was not a very pleasant experience. I was thinking, it'd be like some nice, awesome Swedish hot dog, more like a brat. But no, they literally just throw like some weird hot dog thing in a bunch of boiling water, and then they serve it to you, and they're like, "Here you go," and you eat it, and you like want to die.
that sounds terrible. But the way you described it too, that was great.
I love IKEA for their food, especially their lingonberry stuff. Oh, if you go to IKEA, get the lingonberry juice box because it's amazing. It'll make you feel like you're 5 again. Oh man, is it good? It's
Sounds good.
Yeah. But like they have veggie stuff too. Like they have a veggie hot dog, which like for all the vegans and vegetarians and stuff out there, like
that's a good option.
To me, it doesn't sound very good because I like meat. I'm a meat person.
Yeah, meat is great.
I think it's cool that they have such a variety of food. Like they have like plant-based meatballs, which is way cool. I mean, I tried. I didn't like them very much, because I've had meat and I like meat. Like there's nothing better than bacon. I love bacon, but I still think that's really cool.
Yeah, and also if we get to the point where we're able to replicate meat with plants completely, then we wouldn't have to kill as many animals, which for some people is one of the big reasons that they don't eat meat, because they don't like that many animals just dying for food.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like to think about that too much, as it is sad, but I do like eating meat. So, yeah. Hurt me if you want, I don't care. But, like, I think if we have those other options for the people who want it, that's great.
Yeah. Like, I tried a plant-based burger once, like a hamburger.
Oh, yeah?
And it was alright, It didn't, like, it was very good, It was really good, actually. But I still couldn't really compare it to a real hamburger, Because a real hamburger is meat. And you can't really recreate meat with plant stuff. Maybe someday in the future, like you said, it'll be possible, but at the moment, they can't really replicate meat that well. They can do it. They can sure do it, and they do a pretty good job, because I really liked that burger. It was really good. But I just couldn't really compare it.
Yeah. It's a weird comparison.
Oh yeah, but overall, IKEA is great. If you haven't been there, you need to go there. You don't have to buy stuff. Sometimes you get swept into buying stuff, but I don't because I don't have any. I'm poor, so it's still fun to look around. Really
Yeah.
fun.
It is fun to walk around. Yeah. Okay.
And all the
Wait,
names.
what was that?
I was just saying all the names they have for stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like
They
majority
have interesting names.
big. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. We have one final topic. That's the random word. This usually goes pretty fast, but let's see what word we get today. Okay, I'm gonna open my handy dandy dictionary to page 378. And let's see what's on that page. Okay. We have things from let's see. There's not much. Pasture, pastry, a patriarch, pathetic. Okay. Yeah, basically just pastry and pasture.
Cool. I like both of those to be honest. But if I'm gonna be honest, I think that pastry would be nice.
I agree.
That's because I have a lot I could say about pastries.
Yeah. Hey.
Well, honestly, I think the first thing that comes to my mind when I think pastry is like it's basically a mini donut pie thing filled with jam or cream filling, and it's delicious.
Yeah.
But other than all I can say is they're really good.
Yeah.
I barely know what they are. Like I think Danishes fall under the category of pastries, right? Actually,
Yeah.
does everything fall under that? Like cupcakes and
Well,
donuts?
yeah, I think, well, like donuts and, here, let me figure it out. Pastry definition.
I think they are.
Yeah, but I know like Berliners are,
Yeah.
the German. Well, actually, German pastries are amazing. She's like, if you go to a German bakery, they have delicious bread, delicious pastries. Everything about a German bakery is just perfect. I'm gonna type really quick. Okay, the definition of a pastry, according to Oxford, is a dough of flour, shortening, and water used as a base and covering in baked dishes such as pies. That doesn't really help, but okay. Here,
Not
let's see.
really, no.
Pastry is something that can be savory or sweet, and they can be described as a baker's confectionery. Many kinds of baked products, and here, wait, list of pastries. Here we go, from Wikipedia. Okay, you ready for this?
Yep.
We got Alexander Tort. I don't know if I said that right, but it's from Latvia, and it's a pastry filled with berries. Looks pretty delicious. We got Alu pies from Tobago, and it's a soft fried pastry with some mashed potatoes in it. Has some other spices and vegetables. Looks pretty good. We got strudel, apple strudel from Central Europe. We got Bakewell pudding from the UK. We got bear claws from the US. Ooh, beaver tails from Canada.
Whoa.
Berliners, which I mentioned earlier, from Germany. And Bernbrat from Switzerland, which is it's kind of hard to describe. But the best way to describe it would be like it has a weird like jelly filling. It's like a pear filling usually. I don't know.
Man, I'm hungry right now. Why are you torturing me?
We got from Morocco we got brioate. Wait, no, briotte. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry, but it's a puff pastry. We got. I could mention beignets. Probably go under this category.
Oh, I love beignets.
Cannolis.
Cannolis.
We got pie. Pie is apparently a pastry. Cinnamon rolls from Sweden. Yo!
What?
They're from Sweden? No way. There's no
All
way.
Sweden, guys. IKEA, cinnamon rolls. What else comes from Sweden? Swedish fish. Swedish fish, guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is in the name, but yeah. We got the croissant. Beautiful croissant from France. We got cronut, which is the mix between a croissant and a donut. What? We got Danish pastries. See, eclairs. I could go on. Empanadas. I could just keep going on forever. There's so many of them.
Oh, man.
But pastries are perfect. And you can put ice cream on them, too, if you really wanted to.
True. You can find them in Ireland. You could also find them in India.
Yep. Probably anywhere in the world. And I'm betting churros are a pastry.
Have at IKEA. And they have them on the islands, too.
Yeah.
There you go. Tied it into every topic we had today.
Perfect.
Works.
I think that's about it, right? That's all I had to say about pastries. I mean, I said a lot.
Oh, yeah. But beef has been amazing.
Yeah.
Every minute of it. It's been amazing.
We hope everyone who listens enjoys, and thanks for listening in. We appreciate it. Yeah.
Yep. And as always, guys, stay random.
Yeah, stay random.